Holy moly, never expected that kind of rate of fire though. Hello, what is up guys, I'm your host Gordon and welcome to another one of my video. What I got over here is the Lorchin Shoot Alien Blaster. And this over here, as you can see, is a belt-fed foam dart blaster. And what actually surprises me is actually the rate of fire. Yeah, that's kind of fast for one of these belt-fed foam dart blaster. Well, I actually never expected that I'm going to make a review of this blaster over here. But I don't know, man. Deep inside me, it was telling me that, Gordon, you gotta do a review of this blaster over here. Because how often can you get such a high rate of fire belt-fed foam dart blaster in the market right now? And yes, again, I actually found this blaster in one of Mac Potato's warehouses. And Mac Potato is a local Malaysia online foam dart blaster seller who sells rare imported foam dart blaster just like this one. I mean, this is actually pretty rare though. If you guys are interested with one of these, all the necessary link will be provided in the description down below. In the box, we got the blaster itself, the belt connector, battery and charger, a sling, 30 darts, a fake reflex sight, and a manual. To connect the belts, just align them together and push it in place. Just rinse and repeat. Slide in the belt, the sight, and this is how the blaster looks like with everything installed. Okay, first look at the blaster. As you can see, the aesthetic of the blaster is definitely very unique. It's like one of those alien pulse rifle, but it is belt-fed. I know, it is kind of cursed and weird in the same time. But as usual, these kind of blaster are usually advertised for children. Man, children are lucky these days. And the build quality of this blaster, even though it is a children blaster, it is actually pretty solid. The entire blaster is made out of those toy quality plastics. But overall, the entire blaster is actually very comfortable to hold. Surprisingly enough, even though that this grip looks kind of tight, it's actually kind of okay for my big hands though. It is still kind of tight, but it's not that bad. Well, this blaster does not really comes with a buttstock. As you can see, it only comes with a pretty tight unadjustable buttstock, but thanks to the front length, it is still an acceptable length. Preferably another extra 2 inches of length will be perfect. As you can see, the buttstock allows you to hold a couple of foam darts over here just in case you need additional darts for your reloads. This blaster over here definitely is an indoor blaster. It's not a competitive blaster, and same goes with the other side of the blaster. You can actually put in another 3 darts just in case you need extra darts. You know, having fun indoors doing like target practicing is all okay and perfect. And the color separation of this blaster is actually pretty funny though for me, because instead of using like separate parts for color separation, for example the orange part of this blaster and the barrel over here, this entire shell of the blaster is actually one mold, which means that all of this so-called color separation is actually painted by the factory, which actually kind of impressive though. It looks like it is a separate piece, but in fact it is the same mold. Speaking about cost saving, this is like the extreme version of it. Regarding the Picatinny reel situation, the blaster does come with a Picatinny reel on top of the blaster for one of those fake reflex sight. We only have like one front iron sight over here, which don't really allows you to align anything from the back to the front, so aiming might be a little bit difficult, but I trust my eyeballing though. Well, as I said before, the barrel over here is a fake barrel. This is actually part of the mold that looks like a barrel, so we don't really have like a removable barrel, that kind of a shenanigan. Speaking about firing mode, the blaster actually comes with 2 kinds of firing mode. We of course have the full auto, and of course we got the manual mode, which you have to pull the priming handle or the charging handle at the back of the blaster so you can fire the blaster. And one very unique thing that I actually found out with the belt over here, instead of allowing your belt to, you know, dangle like that, well, if you actually flip the blaster over, you can actually connect the end of the belt to the other end of the belt just like so, to form like a circular infinite belt, just in case you are into that kind of thing. Well, let us give it a try, and there you go. That's like an infinite belt-fed loop over here. The trigger pull is nice and light. It's definitely one of those clicky, switchy triggers. I mean, seriously guys, usually these belt-fed blaster does not really have good rate of fire, but this one over here kind of surprises me. I mean, wow, children these days are happy. Well, if you notice at the front of the blaster over here, there is a button over here to unjam the belt in case the belt jam or something like that. But so far, I've never experienced a single belt jam, which is a good thing. Well, it's good that we don't really have any belt jammings, but there is actually a little bit of a problem that I actually encounter with this blaster. Is that sometimes with this kind of fast rate of fire, the darts fails to exit the belt. Or I would say there is kind of a, you know, belt skipping issue over here. So yeah, I guess that's all of the quirks and features of this blaster over here, surprisingly enough, even though that it looks kind of complicated, it is actually a pretty simple, straightforward blaster. So yep, I guess without further ado, let us go test the blaster out. Okay, we are back, guys. So as expected, this is a toy level blaster, so we are getting a toy level performance. So this blaster over here can fire from 46 FPS all the way to 54 FPS only. Definitely not a healthy, happy number for competitive play. But for indoor target practicing for children, yeah, I would say that that's a decent number. But with that kind of FPS, you can only hit a target around 3 to 4 meters only. You can kind of stretch it to 5 to 6 meters by arcing the blaster a little bit. I do try to put in half-length darts in this blaster so that I'm hoping for a higher FPS, but unfortunately, half-length darts just don't really work with the belt over here. It just don't want to exit the belt, so it is a no-go for half-length darts. Other than that, operating this blaster, I did not encounter any blaster jams other than the dart skipping and dart fail to exit the belt. Manual priming works fine. Overall, the belt movements, it is pretty smooth. It didn't really stuck or anything. And of course, will this blaster passes the wall test? I would say maybe a yes or no. Depends on what kind of blaster you got on the wall over here. Some people might like the aesthetic of the blaster, but with a little bit of touch up, a little bit of weathering here and there, you know, some color changing, like something like a metallic silver or something like that, it is going to look very sweet though. So I would say after a sweet color change, it will pass the wall test with flying colors. So yep, I guess that's it for today's video. It is actually a pretty short video. So if you guys like this video, feel free to smash the like button for the YouTube algorithm. I'll be posting video every Saturday and maybe once in a while on Wednesday. So do remember to click on the subscribe button as well as the notification bell. So yep, go ahead and check it out, and I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Adios, guys.